Hello, online crew. Technical difficulties again. So, how am I going to resolve this? Yeah, we're having trouble streaming. I know. So, hang on. What we're going to do is because the people in my sorry, anyone watching on Instagram, I'm just trying to solve a technical issue here. So, I'm going to talk and do at the same time. Hello, everybody. How are you going? I'm just trying to get live in my group as well. The technology is playing up on me, so I'm just sorting out that problem. But while I'm doing that, what I'm talking about today is what to post, like how often on what platforms. So I'm going to cover Facebook, I'm going to cover Instagram, and I'm going to cover TikTok. So I'm just going to share this. So sorry about this. It's a bit messy, I know, but I'm going to share to my group because the live streaming in the group isn't working again. So just got to push a couple of buttons. So what platforms are you on? Comment, let me know. Okay, we should be live in the group in a minute. Let me know what platforms you're on. Obviously, we're on Instagram over here, so you're probably on Instagram if you're watching over here. But Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, are you on all three? Are you on just one? Do you predominantly just play on Facebook? Like, what's your platform of choice? I want to run through each of the platforms and what is kind of like the recommended strategy for how often to post on each one of those platforms, because it doesn't work if you try to use a Facebook strategy over on Instagram or TikTok or vice versa. Even short form video, like you're going to have a different strategy for Facebook than you are if you're like all in on Instagram and TikTok. Okay. So if you've got any questions, put them, I'll try to get to them. Although I can't see, if you've got any questions in the group, I can't see them. I could probably look at them here. Technology, you got to love it. But let's see if I can pull it up here. Hey to those Facebook and Instagram. So, hey, great to see you watching there on Instagram. Okay, I can see your warning signs. Okay, over on Facebook here, we've got Cherie, Rick, Dean, Faye, Jane, Sheila. Jane's on all three. Cherie's mostly on Facebook, Faye, Facebook. Okay, cool. So what I'm going to try to do is pull up the group as well. Let's see if we are live there. So while I'm doing this, a couple of reminders from this week. Earlier in the week, I spoke about self-sabotage. You need to go and watch that video if you missed it. Everybody needs to watch that video about self-sabotage. If you're not happy in your life, your business, you're not the ideal weight, you're not the ideal, you don't eat properly, you don't have the ideal business, you're struggling, you hold yourself back, you need to go and watch that video. Okay, so that was how many days ago? 2 days ago? 3 days ago. Okay, so wherever you're watching, Instagram, scroll down. Facebook, just scroll down. Okay. Now, yesterday I spoke about the state of the industry, the fact that another company has gone affiliate model only, my thoughts about that. That's raised a lot of questions from some of you. And an interesting one, like people have been asking me, what are your thoughts about a brand new ground floor company like these days? I don't know if this is going to ruffle anybody's feathers watching this, but I just would not join a brand new company, like a brand new company. I just wouldn't do it. I'd be going finding a company that's in momentum and is already established and got their ducks in a row. You could join a company that's opened up in a new country that's got all their ducks in a row. So don't get me wrong with what I'm saying there, but I wouldn't be joining a brand new company. Just my thoughts. Okay, we are live in the group. Can I see any of your comments though? No. Oh, sorry. If you're commenting from my group, I can't see your comments. And the last one is those of you in my coaching community, go and catch the training from yesterday where I talked about active and passive prospecting. All about that. That's part 1. Part 2 is next week. Really, really, really valuable training. You're not building a business unless you're talking to anybody. So you're prospecting, whether it's passive through social media or active through what you say and connections that you make. You've got to be getting leads from somewhere. So that is a really, really important training. Okay. Now, let's get back on track here. Okay, no, I've got one more reminder. Sorry. If you're familiar with me and my lives, the next month is messy for a global business. So this is what's happening in the next 4 weeks, time-wise. Last weekend, New Zealand changed their clocks. This weekend, Australia changed their clocks. At the end of the month, UK changed their clocks. And then the first month of November is when US and Canada change their clocks. So you're going to be all confused with when I'm live over the next month. So I'm warning you that Australians, you'll be right. New Zealanders, you already adjusted last week. Within Australia, it might change because some of the states don't change to daylight savings and some do. So we're putting warnings up over the next month on all my socials like Instagram, Facebook, business page, my group. So just watch out on my socials for when I'm actually live, because over the next 4 weeks, it gets messy. And we just got to get through everybody's time changes. And then after the first week of November, it'll be streamlined then for the next 6 months until all our chocks change again. Clocks change again. Okay, so I'm warning you. So as of next week, for US and Canada, I'll be an hour earlier, okay, than I am now. Okay. UK, they're still probably all asleep anyway. So next week's lives, Australia will be normal time, but if you're in Queensland or Melbourne or Sydney, it'll be, just work it out. I'm in South Australia, okay? 10:30 a.m. South Australia. So if you're in Australia, work backwards from there. If you're in the UK, it'll still be 1 a.m. If you're in New Zealand, 1 p.m. And if you're in the States or Canada, it'll be 5 p.m. or 8 p.m. Does that make sense? And just keep an eye out on my posts. So it's going to be a little bit messy. I do actually have a page, which probably no one looks at. But if you go to helenmartinonline.com/events, we update that page on my website every single Monday for what training I'm doing that week, at what time I'm doing it that week. So we keep that updated with all the different time changes. So if you go to helenmartinonline.com/events, if you're confused over the next month, you'll see a timetable at the top of what's coming that week and what time I'm live that week. Okay. Hopefully that makes sense. Yes, Dean. So that's why the coaching community training, it'll be different in the next month as our time changes. So it's going to get confusing. Okay. So, daylight savings. But I'm so looking forward to daylight savings. We get longer evenings. The sun's coming out. I come alive when it's summer. So the next 6 months, I'll start glowing again. Anyway, how do you join my group? So my free group, so Her Digital Pathway. So what's your name? Her Digital Pathway. So my free group, my free Facebook group is called Social Media Systems for Serious Social Sellers. Okay, so there'll also be a link to that from that page that I just gave you, helenmartinonline.com/events. There's a link to my group on that page as well. And then I've got my coaching community, which is a low-cost membership item. You'll also see that from my website. So if you just go to my website, helenmartinonline.com, you'll find a lot of my information there. If not, reach out to me in Messenger. Okay. All right. Let's get back to what we're here for. Okay. How often should you post on social media? Let's start with Facebook. Okay. There's a big difference in Facebook and Instagram regarding your feeds and stories. So you need to be really clear on that. In Facebook, you do not want to post more than once a day in your feed. Okay? Even then, if you've got a post that you've put on Facebook and you're getting some traction from it, leave it alone for 24 hours or even 48 hours. Don't post something over the top of it. You are messing with your own algorithm on Facebook. If you overpost, like there used to be, like back in the day, the more you posted, the better it would be. Not anymore. It's not how the algorithm works. Do you know how many people are online and how much space, how many posts you are competing with? The last thing you want to do is compete with your own content. So you put a piece of content out there, and then a couple of hours later, you put another piece of content over the top. You are competing with your own algorithm. Now, the only variable to that with Facebook is Reels, because Reels doesn't go to just a small percentage of your network that are already there. It goes much wider than that. So if you're doing Reels on Facebook, you could do a Reel and another piece of content. That's okay, because the Reel will go way outside your current network, whereas your post, so on Facebook, a post, even a live video, will only go to a small percentage of the people that are already there. So it's the people that are already there in your network, whereas a Reel will go way outside that. So if you are doing Reels on Facebook, you could post more than once a day, because one's going outside your current network. Okay, am I making sense with that? But I wouldn't overdo it with Reels though. Like I wouldn't want to look at somebody's news feed and it's real. That's a place for Instagram. That's a place for TikTok. It's not really a place for Facebook to have real, and no other type of content. Okay, so this is just how the platforms work. Stories, however, on both Instagram and Facebook, go for it as many times a day as you can. I'd have a minimum of 3. So minimum of 3, you're talking like morning, middle of the day, nighttime. So you're always trying to be at the front of people's feed. So do you know, like when we say feed in stories, it works like kind of sideways. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like your feed is there. And when you don't post a story for a period of time, you're going to the back of the stories feed. Does that make sense to you? So when you put more stories in, you'll go to the front of somebody's stories feed. So space them out. It's not a good idea to do like 10 stories all at once and then nothing for 23 hours, because the rest of them are you're going to disappear. So if you can spread out your stories throughout a day, you have the potential to stay at the front of somebody's stories feed. Okay, I hope that's making sense. So news feed, don't overpost. Stories, go for it. There's never a thing as too many stories. Okay, and stories is where you should share all the stuff you're too scared to share on your news feed. Get brave about your business. Get brave about your life. Share who you are. Share behind the scenes. Share your thoughts. Speak. Show your face. Don't hide behind graphics. Don't hide behind images. Don't hide behind shared content. People want to know who you are. So do that in stories. What you're getting up to in your life, like human relatability is your absolute goal with building on social media. People will also buy from people that they know, like, and trust. How often are you showing up? If you don't ever show up in your stories, if you're not constantly showing up and sharing things, then they're following somebody else who is showing up consistently. Okay? So what are you confused about, Kathy? Ask me while I'm on live. What are you confused about? Let's clarify that while I'm here, okay? Schedule stories ahead of time. Depends. You can schedule things through like the Meta Suite and stuff like that, but stories is something that I would be doing in real time. So what do you do? In saying that, I have a lot of things sitting in my camera roll that I'll post later. So stories is really good for what are you doing in the moment. Schedule. So here's my thoughts around scheduled content. If you are literally that busy that you can't get to your phone or social media because you're working, like you've got a job and you've got this and that, whatever, and social media really bogs you down, then schedule content. But the algorithms are always going to favor content that's native in the newsfeed and your stories. Okay. So what I mean by native is that you're posting in the moment. So what I do more of, I mean, if you've got the professional mode of a personal profile, you can schedule posts in advance on a personal profile with the professional mode. You can't on just the classic mode. But I wouldn't get into the habit of scheduling all your content because your reach will be less. Facebook wants you to show up in real time. They want your voice. They want your language. They don't want a lot of shared content. They want you. They want you to show up in real time. When I say they, I mean the platform. So I will often think ahead. I will often write a post and write, what it is that I want to write and have my image. And I'll do that like the night before, knowing that I want to post it the next morning, but I won't schedule it for the next morning. I'll have it all ready to go and then post it in real time the next morning. So you can still get organized and plan things out, but where you can, I would post natively in real time rather than scheduling. But if there are options to schedule, you can schedule things, yes, depending on where you are and what platform, and if it's a business page or the professional mode of a personal profile, like those kind of things. Like you just have to sort of work out where you're playing and all that kind of stuff. But I wouldn't do a lot of scheduled content because you won't get as much reach from it. Okay. The other thing with scheduled content is, are you there in the moment? The best way you're going to boost an algorithm is to post something when you know you can respond. So when I'm posting something important, I will post it at a time where, I know that I can respond to a lot of people in that time. Like if I post something and then I get on calls, which does happen in my world, like I could post something in the morning and then got to get on calls for 4 or 5, 6 hours in a row. That's not good for my algorithm. I know if I post something and I can get to a few comments here and there in between calls and things like that, that when there's engagement and I respond and then there's more engagement and then I respond and there's somebody else that they've engaged and I've responded, et cetera, when that's going in the algorithm, it's going to push it out to more people. So don't post something or schedule something where you know you might get comments and you don't reply. That's really bad for your algorithm. So the algorithm is looking for, like, signals are firing off all the time. And more signals will fire off when you post something and you get a reply and then you respond to that reply. And if you get another reply again, awesome. If you're asking for a call to action, ask somebody to write something or put down a word. Don't ask for emojis. Emojis are not high on the signals. So you might put a fire emoji down if you agree or something. It's not going to do you a lot of favors. It will help. Like, some engagement is better than no engagement. But the boost in the algorithm is triggered by the lengths of words. So the more people write, the more traction you'll get in the algorithm. Am I making sense? Okay. Dean, if you're just catching a couple of questions here, if you're speaking in your story, should you have music, low volume in the background or not? No, I wouldn't. And the reason being is sometimes if you can control it enough, Dean, that the music is that low that it really doesn't drown your voice out, you could, if you want to bother doing that. Stories are very quick though. Like, it's really not like a reel where you might be speaking in a reel and have some music in the background. There's definitely a place for that. But stories are so quick. Like, they're kind of like 20 seconds odd each. Like, I wouldn't really bother. And sometimes what happens is, even though you've turned the music right down, when people are actually listening to it, the music is still quite loud. So for stories particularly, Dean, I wouldn't worry too much about it. Oh, Kathy, yeah, totally agree. I'm with you now. You probably left that when I was talking about the time change. It is confusing. I'll give you that with the time zone changes. So Jane, back to the scheduling. I would always say about scheduling, if it means you'll post something versus not posting anything at all, schedule. But if you can just be organized enough to know when you want to post something and you can still actually post it in real time, I would always encourage you to post it in real time. Okay? Beth, I did that once and went to bed. Not anymore. Posting earlier so I can respond to the comments. Yeah. So the worst thing you can do for your algorithm is post something and then go to bed, especially if you've asked for engagement. So you're out of action for 4 hours, 6 hours, however long you sleep for, and all those comments have been sitting there unattended to. You've just smack bang stopped your algorithm. Like, you need to be there to boost your algorithm. Okay. And yeah, really good comment, Beth. Try to ask questions to get people to comment more, not just hello. Give them a reason to comment more. Yeah, the more signals that go off, they're triggered by the amount of words. So if somebody comments and then you say something back, don't just say one word back. Say, thank you for your comment. I really appreciate it. Like, say a few words back. And then, or ask somebody a question. So they've said something, and then you respond, but you actually respond and ask them a question. So then they reply with more words. Your algorithm is firing off every time that happens. Okay. So just little strategies, guys. But if you listen to all this kind of stuff and actually put it into play, and you can't do these kind of things just once and expect a huge boost in your algorithm. You have to do things like this intentionally for a minimum of 30 days or more. Like, if you think you've got like a crap algorithm and like you don't think you get much reach, and I need to speed this up. I'm still on Facebook. We've got to get to Instagram and TikTok yet. But if you don't feel like you get much from, social media, let's say just Facebook, you need to change your strategy consistently for a minimum of 30 days if you're going to turn around that and expect more, more from the algorithm, because you have to do, probably more consistent type of content, and you need to give more love to get more love. So if you want to turn around the algorithm and get more reach because you don't feel like you're getting much, then you have to give a lot more love to get. So you need to be really intentional for a minimum of 30 days of communicating and engaging with a lot more people every day. Make it part of your DMO so you can get more love. And it's just reciprocal. You know how it works. I smile at somebody. Did anyone just smile? Probably not. But you know what I mean? Like, you walk down the street and smile at somebody for no reason at all. They could be a stranger. They're more than likely going to give you a grin back. Think of that the same way on social media. The more you give, the more you'll get back. So if you don't get much from your social media, one, it could be the quality of your content. I mean, you do need to evaluate that. But are you just sitting back and just posting and waiting for it to happen? Or are you actually actively engaging and firing off these signals in the algorithm because you're active on social media? Like, you can't just sit back and post and pray. You got to engage with people. So if you want a big boost in your algorithm, go and give some more love for a minimum of 30 days to get some more love. Like, be really intentional on social media. Okay. Now, there was something else I was going to say. It popped into my head. It was something to do with what I was talking about. Oh, the professional mode. So if you're on the professional mode of Facebook, you can see your reach. So have a look. How many followers, how many friends do you have? Take that number. Look, and you can only measure this if you're on the professional mode of Facebook, but you get the numbers, you get the data, which shows you your reach of your posts. So if you've got like 1,000 people following you, or you got Facebook friends and your post has been sent to 10 people, wow, have you got some work to do? Like, there's not many signals, algorithm signals being firing off there. So you need to massively give some love and interact with people and friend request some people and do a lot of work to turn that around. Okay, so just take all of that on board. Okay, so Facebook newsfeed, we got it. Okay, and how reels fit into that, but stories, go for it. So let's move on to Instagram. Okay, so Instagram, depending what you're on the Instagram platform for. Like, do you have like a personal account where you're playing a little bit with personal and business, or are you on Instagram to build business? I'm not on Instagram for fun. I don't have time. I'm on Instagram for business. I've got 2 Instagram accounts, one for this kind of content, and I've also got another one which is my health side of it and weight loss and helping women with hormones, weight loss, all that kind of stuff. So I've got 2 different Instagram accounts, but I don't consider them kind of personal accounts. They are business accounts and they're there for a specific reason. If that's what you're on Instagram for, you could, if you wanted to, do 100% reels. You don't need to mix up the content anymore. You don't need to have a post and then a carousel post and then an image and then a reel on Instagram. Like, you could be 100% reels. That's totally up to you. I still have a variety of content on mine, or on one of mine, my business one, the one I'm on live right now, but my health one, 100% reels, 100% reels. Now, if you are starting a kind of a new Instagram account, or you haven't really had much traction on Instagram and you've moved to Instagram to try to get some traction, definitely reels would be your strategy. And probably if you really want to get going, probably minimum one. If you could do 2 reels a day for like, don't let this freak you out, for about 3 months, that's when you're going to speed up your results. It's the consistency. Now, some of you just went, oh, that's way too much content. It's not if you're batching your content and you're getting organized, but that's a different story. Okay, but minimum 1 reel a day. If you could do 2, 1 in the morning, 1 at night, that's where you're going to get the most traction. But you have to be consistent with reels if you want to get something out of that. And it can be painful. You could be doing that for like 60 days straight and not get much for it. And you're like, man, I'm putting all this effort into content and I'm not getting much from it. So 1, you need to look at your calls to action, your attention grabbers, the type of content, your target market, how you're serving that target market, all of that kind of stuff, but the consistency as well. But Instagram, it could be like a post, carousel post, reels, etc. Reels, again, on Instagram, they're going way outside the followers. So you could have a reel and another type of post in the same day, not a problem on Instagram. But don't be afraid to just go 100% reels on Instagram. That would absolutely work. Same strategy with stories, more the better. Get into your stories, let people get to know you, share your thoughts behind the scenes. You're watching this training. If you're on a computer, get out your phone right now, take a selfie of you watching me doing this training and pop it in your stories. If you want people to get interested in you building an online business and people joining you in an online business, show people that you are learning about how to build a business online. Like all of that kind of stuff should be in your stories. Don't miss those opportunities. Okay? So does that make sense regarding Instagram? So yeah, similar to Facebook, on the feed itself, maybe 1 a day. But if you're incorporating reels, you could have extra content a day, like 2 or 3. But reels, you could go all in, 100% reels, 1, 2. I mean, if you're really, really keen, you could do 3 reels a day, but you got to keep up with the content creation process with that. And that's pretty tough. The more content you want to create, the more organized you need to be. And short form video content is amazing to be able to build your business that way. Like, you know, the way we used to build a business just, you know, even a couple of years ago is so different. Like you can actually build a really cool business on like 5 to 7 second, 90-second videos. Like, isn't that insane when you think about it? So you could go all in on short form video and build a business on that. But put the time and effort into batch recording all those short form videos, and then at the same time, like video 5 or 10, and then come up with 5 or 10 hooks, your attention grabbers, and then write your 5 or 10 captions and have them all ready to go. So then you've got the next 10 days if you're doing 1 a day, or you've got the next 5 days covered if you're doing 2 a day. Okay. Are you following along? Am I making sense? Okay, making sense. All right. Now, TikTok. So TikTok is an interesting platform, and it is obviously short form video. You can do like static posts on TikTok now, but I would mainly concentrate on the short form video. If you really want to gain traction, like you're just starting out on TikTok, the more the better, because you want to try. The TikTok algorithm is super, super, super responsive. So what's important on TikTok is that you're looking at the right kind of TikToks that are in your like niche market. So don't post one particular type of TikTok and then be watching on that same channel something like content completely random to that. You want to train the TikTok as to the type of people you want to send your content to, plus absorbing the same kind of content. So go and follow a whole lot of people in your niche, and that's the content that you want to look at on TikTok. And if you want to get really quick traction from TikTok, the more the better. Like up to 3 a day if you could. Now, I know a lot of you won't be able to do that. So 1 a day would be a good strategy on TikTok. Those of you that are dabbling with short form video like Reels and TikTok, if you just do 1 a week, you're really not going to get much from that, if that's your strategy. If you're also on Facebook and you're just kind of putting something up every now and again, then, that's up to you and your content strategy. But if you are looking to go all in on a platform like Instagram or TikTok, you've got to go all in on the content and that short form video. Okay. You still following along? Instagram and TikTok specifically for business, you've got to be laser focused on your target market and what problems you solve. So Facebook, you can do content buckets. And there might be a bit of you, your family, what your interests are. You might be giving advice on health and wellness or travel or skincare or gut health or weight loss or whatever your thing is. You might also be talking about multiple streams of income. Like, you can do that on Facebook. But if you're on Instagram for business and TikTok for business, that doesn't cut it there. That nobody cares. Stay laser focused with your content on who you serve and what you help them with. So the quality of your content also matters, as well as the amount of content on the platform. Okay? Are we confused or are we all good? Just let me know in the comments. Following, helpful, more confused than ever. Just let me know. What else? Oh, the other thing I wanted to share with you. On all platforms, go live. Who's too scared to go live? Go live like this. I'm on my computer here, on my business page, my free group, and YouTube. I'm on Instagram on my phone up here. I'm in live in 4 places at once. Okay, you could do that too. So going live on TikTok, if you've got a customer focus, you want to sell more of your product, you've got a product-based business, go live on TikTok. If you want to build up, the relationships, people like speed up that know, like, and trust factor, go live on Instagram like I am now, go live on Facebook like I am now. Credit to those that did my 5-day video challenge last month. I'm doing another one in November because so many people got benefit from that. And I know so many people need it more. So stop hiding behind the fact that you're not going live. It's one of the powerful things that you can do on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, all platforms. Bring live video into the mix. It's the one thing I've done the whole time I've been building online, is I've gone live, and I've consistently gone live. So we don't want to compare my results to anybody else's results, but I can say the results being a multiple 6-figure earner, having 14 streams of income, everything I've achieved, a large part of that is the fact that I am willing, even though I may not have felt comfortable in the beginning or didn't really know my topic or didn't have the results to speak of or hadn't recruited anybody online yet, like all of that stuff that goes through your heads that stops you from going live. I still did it back then, and I'm still doing it today. The only way you can get better at going live is by doing it. You're never going to get better at it by avoiding it. Okay, so live video is one of the best things that you can do, because there's only one you. And there's things about you. There's a whole lot of people waiting for you to show up. Your personality, your words, your funny, quirky things about you. Like, there's a whole lot of people that will resonate with you that will not resonate with me. There'll be people that will love your accent but hate mine, and vice versa. Like, every one of us has got the ability to build our own unique tribe and audience. But if you're not going live, if you don't have consistent content, if you're not working out what to do on what platform and how to show up and have good hooks and attention grabbers and content and all the rest of it, you're just wasting time. So work out where you're going to play. And I don't necessarily recommend that you go on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok all at once if you're not ready for that. Concentrate on one platform and get really good at it, and then branch out to the other platforms. Unless you can do what I'm doing right now, is I'm going live here on my computer and live here on my phone. So, double trouble. Like, if you can maximize your efforts, go for it. But if you're not ready for that, just stay on Facebook and do a really good job of it, and then branch out to Instagram or TikTok. So don't spread yourself too thin and be on every platform doing a really shit job on each platform. Excuse my French. But you know what I mean? Like, there's no use trying to do all the things on social media if you're not getting any traction anywhere. Concentrate on one platform, work out how that platform works, do a really good job on that platform, get some traction, and then branch out. There's no use doing a little bit of everything and not getting any results. You might as well focus and have laser focus intention and get really good at content and attention grabbers and hooks and short form video and all those kind of things. Okay, is this discussion helpful? Let me know. Just checking a couple of questions and then we'll jump off. So question here. How do I get live going all at the same time? So you can good question, Jane. So I'm using a piece of software on my computer, which is called StreamYard. I have the paid version of StreamYard, though, to go live in multiple places. So I've got the plan that allows me to go live in 3 places at once on StreamYard, but I'm paying for that privilege. You can't go live in multiple places without paid software. Okay, but I've got my phone sitting up here and my computer here. So you could go live in 2 places for free. So you could go live like straight on Facebook on a computer here, and you could have a phone. Just get yourself a little cheap holder like that I've got up here. My other one broke live. Did you catch that last week? Like I was live up here and my phone fell off because it literally broke. But you could be on 2 platforms with 2 different devices. I've actually got a spare device here. This is an old phone to catch the comments in my group, which is still only picking up the comments on my business page because I'm not actually directly live in the group, but that's another story. But I could have another holder up here and be going live somewhere else. Okay, so that's how you can challenge that. Dean, the live challenge was wonderful and freeing. So I hope you're attending the next one in November. So forewarning, I'm doing another video challenge in November. So watch out for it. Join us. You could go live on Instagram or Facebook. Like up to you. I'm not doing TikTok because TikTok live is a totally different beast. Faye, with TikTok, do you just follow everyone who follows you? No, I don't. I found that there were so many coming in, I didn't have time to check them all out to see if they were my people. You get so many random people off TikTok. Like if you come across somebody that likes, loves, comments, whatever, look at their profile, see if they look normal. And then, because there's a lot of people that don't look normal. So no, you don't feel like you have to follow everybody that's following you. A little downfall of TikTok, though, is the messaging within the platform. So you need to be following each other to be able to get messages through. So there are people that you will need to follow or ask them to follow you or vice versa to be able to get through the messaging platform on TikTok. It's really clunky, TikTok, as far as messaging. I have gone live on TikTok previously. I haven't recently, but I am going to get back to that because I know that's where customer sales are. And Faye, you've got a personality for that. Get yourself on TikTok live. I know that might be a little bit scary, but you could do it. And yeah, it's a really good platform for selling. So TikTok lives. It's a different beast though. The buttons are in different places. The first TikTok live I did, I didn't know how to end it. I'm like, how do I end this thing? And it was behind the power button. Like I'm like, oh, I'm freaking out here. And people jump on and they throw you off. And there's like 20 people, then 200 people, then 500 people, then 400 people, then 200 people, then this and that. It's really, really weird. So it just takes a while to get used to it, but it's awesome for sales. And if you're in social selling, you should be on TikTok going live, but don't diversify unless you're ready for it. Okay, so helpful. Helpful. How are we going over on TikTok? Good. Okay. I have enough followers to go live. Oh, that's the other thing. You do need 1,000 followers to go live. So as long as you've got 1,000 followers, then you can go live. Sorry, I should have mentioned that before. Okay, I've talked way too long. So I hope this was helpful to go through the platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, things that you should need to consider regarding how many posts, where, the newsfeed versus stories, all that kind of stuff. So again, finishing, this is my last live of the week. So coaching community members, watch the replay from yesterday regarding active and passive prospecting sort of strategies. Yesterday's video was about the state of our industry. Go and watch that. The video before that, 2 days before that, was all about self-sabotage. Everybody needs to go and watch that video. So go and have yourselves a fabulous weekend. Be warned. I said to you before, over the next month, all our clocks change no matter where you are. So I'm in Australia. We've got a long weekend coming up. So looking forward to that. I need that. Just need a bit of downtime. And our clocks change this weekend. So again, next week for my lives. So if you're in Australia, work backwards from 10:30 a.m. in South Australia, what that equates to you. Okay. And US and Canada, it'll be 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. And if you're in the UK, anybody still from the UK awake, it'll still be 1 a.m. until your clocks change. And then we start going backwards from there. But yeah, it's going to be a bit messy over the next 4 weeks as all our times change around the world. Okay. So go and have a fabulous weekend. And I look forward to seeing you next week for whatever I turn up and decide to share with you. Okay, thanks for joining me live. I really appreciate our online crew community here. You've got no idea. So go and crush it on your socials. Bye.